Hey guys, and welcome to an epic, awesome battle. I'm a Rubber Duck War, but today we're showcasing a replay sent in by the mighty Grombrindal, leading the forces of Grand Cathay up against the dreaded Ogre Kingdoms. Now, Grombrindal is well known for being a Dowie main, a stalwart Dowie ally to all in Total War Warhammer 2, plus I'm assuming in Total War Warhammer 1. He has been a big lover of the Dowie for a very long time. He's decided to play Grand Cathay and play them like dwarves, which is pretty interesting take for sure. And he's going for an elite infantry style build with the opening. I've seen quite a few players attempt to do this. It looks like Lords are for the weak, as he's decided not to bring one, instead going for mass halberds and crossbowmen. It's certainly going to be an absolute blast. So we have Celestial Dragon Guard in the front. And that is one of the coolest named units in the universe. They look so ferocious and badass. I love the color scheme as well that he's gone for. The kind of grey and yellow looks really quite cool. And probably reminds him a little bit more of those Ironbreaker style armor in the general Dwarvish Legion. So a load of Celestial Dragon Guard in the front. Looks like in the back we have even more Celestial Dragon Guard. So 4 units total is pretty crazy. Double Celestial Dragon Crossbow in that central pocket. And then 1 unit of Jade Warriors, who probably feel a little bit out of place here. They're a little bit weaker than the other units there, but a pretty fun opening nonetheless. For the Ogre Kingdoms, it looks like we have an Ogre player here who is full of class and culture, not going for the double Iron Blaster gorgeous spam, instead bringing some pretty fun units, kind of the double Noblar Trapper, making an early push towards the home objective. We do have I don't know how to say this name because it's all in Polish. Oh no, there you go. Slaughter Master of the Great Moor just underneath. And this replay has been sent to me in Polish, of course, from Grombrindal. So there may be a few weird kind of names and so on the scorecards. Looks like he's coming in with the Brain Gobbler, as well as the Bull Gorger and a Bone Crusher. Pretty interesting set of spells. Tooth Cracker, the Maw, as well as Troll Guard. So bringing every single spell, which is definitely a big mistake, though I have noticed some casters will bring every spell, even if you tick them off, which seems to be a bit of a bug in the game at the moment. We have some little Noblars leading the charge in the main front line, and a Noblar Scrap Launcher. Not terrible up against the tightly packed formations of Grand Cathay. More Noblars mixed in with some Man-Eaters over on the left-hand side here, including some Iron Fist Ogre Bulls. Certainly a good old fat build ready for a juicy scrap. Now on this map you can certainly make use of crossbowmen and range troops in general by stationing them up high on these ridges and pouring shots down onto the contested point in the middle. And looks like that's Grand Cathay's not preferred style. Looks like they're going to be moving as a whole army. Trying to keep that harmony where possible, and the army does indeed advance here. Noblars move up to Objective 2. Looks like some basic cheaper ones going to be going towards Objective 1, as more troops already have been summoned in by the Ogre Kingdoms in the form of some cheek Ogre Bulls. So the rest of the Grand Cathay army seems like it's moving up in one solid battle line at the moment, stacking a little bit of resources, perhaps trying to bring in some even more elite troops. Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen do take some early damage there, unfortunately, coming in from the Scrap Launcher. But now the Grand Cathay war cry is well and truly being ripped from the soldiers' lips as they move forward. Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen do these really cool crouch animations as they load and then start unhailing a load of bullets down upon the enemy, aiming for these Man-Eater Ogre pistols and doing some devastating damage off the rip, actually. Pretty big damage off one volley there as they continue to pour fire in. Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen make a stalwart shield wall in front of them. You shall not pass. Be you Noblar or Ogre, it matters little. Although it looks like a gigantic loads of scrap will definitely be able to break down the Celestial Dragon Guard, who are just taking so much shot after shot. His daggers, random bits of shrapnel are launched at them. They hold those shields high and hold the line in the name of the Dragon Empire. The Saber-Tusk pack is going to be moving over towards Objective 3. Maybe looking to whip around and behind and jump on top of the crossbowmen. I think it would be a good idea, though. There are some Celestial Dragon Guard being peeled off backwards to help protect them. And we do get an early Terracotta Sentinel coming in from the forces of Grand Cathay, which I like quite a bit. With a flank here of Celestial Dragon Guard moving up into the high ground, going to be charging down onto the Noblars. Celestial Dragon Guard not having the best day in the front line. They're getting pinned in by cheap troops, and they're just annihilated by the Scrap Launcher, and Noblars just constantly cobbing more and more garbage at them. You can see some of the Dragon Guard have already broken. The Crossbowmen are doing it far better. They've already managed to break down those Ogre Pistol Man-Eaters, and now they're going after the Ogre Bull Iron Fist and doing some pretty devastating damage rather quickly. Interested to see how much damage value these guys get over the course of a battle. Jade Warriors trying to protect the other flank, while Celestial Dragon Guard having a much better time than the ones in the front line, pulling down the Saber-Tusk pack and stabbing them with their halberds to finish off the frenzied beasts. We have more Ogre Balls coming around the flank. It looks like just a swarm of cheap infantry is the main battle plan for this Ogre Kingdom player. Celestial Dragon Guard holding the line, though, keeping those balls back, allowing the Jade Warriors to unleash hell. We have some more Jade Warrior Halberds being summoned and pushed into the middle, which is hotly contested right now. Looks like both players will be trying to capture their home objectives. Terracotta Sentinel giving a bit of stability in the middle, alongside the Celestial Dragon Guard, but there is Noblars all over the battlefield, and that is making it quite a hard point to capture so far for the forces of Grand Cathay. Objective 3 looks like it is very slowly turning in Cathay's favour due to the Celestial Dragon Guard beating back some Ogre Balls with the support of the Jade Warriors. Objective 1 definitely going in the favour of the Ogre Kingdoms. 2 Noblar units stand loyally guard, at least until any enemies turn up, in which case they'll probably run in the other direction. Middle is bouncing back and forth constantly here as both of these guys chuck troop after troop into the middle. It does look like, unfortunately, the Celestial Dragon Guard, who was given the duty and the honor of being the general of this army, has fallen here. It looks like a Bone Crusher coming down doing some pretty awesome damage. Terracotta Sentinel, though, is a beast amongst men right now, certainly being quite ferocious here in the middle. The Slaughtermaster is trying his best to rally his troops, but now in come the Jade Warriors. Terracotta Sentinel is flinging both friend and foe around. In the name of the Dragon Empire, he will get this objective at any means necessary. And it looks like Objective 2 is now well and truly secure in the hands of the Grand Cathay player. And this is really good news for Cathay. You almost never want to be trying to capture late game with Cathay, I found, as they are a bit slow and ponderous. But catching it early game and then getting set up with your Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen is going to be really nasty. We also have a couple of units of Jade Warriors going for a sneaky long push to Objective 1, which I love. Even if they're not going to succeed, they're going to force the Ogre players to take so much resources over there to try to dissuade them from capturing that home objective. Man-Eaters are being a pain in the butt on objective number 3, and they're making it a real rough time for the Celestial Dragon Guard to actually capture this objective as they attempt to protect the Jade Warrior Crossbowmen at the same time as capturing the objective, and it's turning out to be a little bit too much for them. The Man-Eaters do seem to be going down. As you can see, one of them does fall, a crossbow bolt lodged in his throat. There are more, though, Dragon Guard on the way, and it looks like more Peasant Archers as well have been swarmed in and conscripted into the main fighting now that their standing army has kind of been, put to rest quite quickly here. Celestial Dragon Guard are still pinning in Man-Eaters here, doing a decent job there, fighting alongside the Terracotta Sentinel, and still we have these Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen firing. They've been firing all day long, nearly out of ammunition at this point. Really interesting to see how much work they've got done. 97 and 74 kills, no joke against Ogres, as more Celestial Dragon Guard move in to help claim the objective, and shore fins up in the middle. The Man-Eaters going down here, and it looks like the Noblars are terrified and retreating. The greater Slaughtermaster is having a bit of a whale of a time and just beating on Jade Warriors, trying to support some Noblars in this main fight. The Scrap Launcher doing decent work here. Oh my god, that was a devastating shot there by the Scrap Launcher I caught out the corner of my eye. Double Jade Warriors could be applying pressure to the Noblars. We're definitely going to have to see these inactive Ogre Balls wrapping around. And we've got some reinforcements in the Man-Eater Ogre Pistols, who may also have to come over here to Objective 1. Now, it's certainly not all lost, though, for the Ogre Kingdoms. We've been focusing on the middle quite a bit. They are actually at a 2-for-1 cap advantage at the moment, having managed to capture Grand Cathay's home objective with a rather sneaky Sabertusk pack supporting the Man Ogres there. And it is very close here. Sabertusk need to get moving very quickly onto the Jade Warriors and shut them down and stop them capping this objective. They simply do not have the numbers to stop the mighty Jade Warriors from overwhelming and getting this objective back in the hands of Grand Cathay. We're currently about halfway down on tickets, but certainly doing better in a damage value if I had to guess. Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen are going to be moving up and looking to unleash yet another deadly salvo onto the Slaughtermaster and hopefully do some decent work. Terracotta Sentinels, pretty decent in combat in general. Not the best single entity fighters, though, and they don't do that much work to the Slaughtermaster. We'll be able to pin him in place, though, so hopefully he can be filled with dangerous bolts as more Crossbowmen move up in an aggressive play to block this line. We're out of ammo. That does not mean we're out of fight. We can hold the enemy back and allow our crossbow brethren to really bring the pain. Now, we do have these 2 Peasant Archers. They are fresh and just waiting on top of the high ground here. I'd like to see them scoot a little bit closer, maybe one to the left, so they can start to rain shots down on the Ogre Pistols. And that's just what they're going to do as they turn around. Beautiful order there for some peasants. And just to unleash your arrows down. I love the fact that these maps now have these like high grounds and low grounds and sneaky tactics you can do. It's so much fun as we can see these archers rain shots down on the Ogre Pistols. Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen hit down the crossbows and they lift up their blades and get fighting. They got some pretty cool blades all round, and I love the animations. They are certainly, though, being outmatched here by the Man-Eaters in hand-to-hand combat. They simply have to hold on as long as possible. Load of Peasant Long Spears have been summoned from the forces Grand Cathay, as well as a second Terracotta Sentinel, which has allowed them to claim Objective 3 once more, which is expected. I mean, Ogre Balls are pushing, but capturing your opponent's home objective and keeping it is really, really difficult with an army like Ogres, who are relatively swift across the ground, but they're no Slaanesh or anything like that. Likewise, the Ogre home objective is slowly being butchered. Double Jade Warriors are carving their way through the Noblars here over on this flank, doing a decent job. The Noblars have something of like little saucepans as hats. I love it. They really are the ultimate scrappers of the Warhammer universe. Unfortunately, Mournfang Cavalry has emerged though, so the Jade Warriors probably not going to be able to hold this objective in too good a time. Ogre players got a lot of idle units. These need to get moving as quickly as possible into the center of the objective to try and hold it down here. We'll do the Noblar Scrap Launcher running over Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen alongside some Noblar Trappers, trying its best, but the Dragon Crossbowmen simply will not budge. Objective 2 has been in the hands of Grand Cathay all day long. Really good play so far by Grombrindle, and he's certainly playing it like a dwarf. He's getting in there with your stalwart infantry, your elite infantry as well, holding the line, and getting a load of range support on the shots. And the crossbowmen and peasant archers have been really quite fantastic so far. Terracotta Sentinels are pushing back Ogre Balls on this right-hand side, and it feels like the Ogre play is running a little bit out of steam. He really went all in on capturing the opponent's home objective, this objective number 3. And it seems to have backfired for him a little bit here, as all the crossbowmen are now applying a lot of pressure to the middle. But it seems like a lot of these inactive units have been activated once again, which is good to see from the Ogre player. Moving in on to the objective, Terracotta Sentinel is still hard at work trying to take down this pesky Slaughtermaster. Troll Guts goes down though, and he ain't going anywhere. Peasant Long Spearmen trying their best to help support, as we have a load of Ogre Balls coming in here and Noblars. More Ogre Balls have been summoned with some Noblar Trappers, and they may flood objective number 2 here and overwhelm it from Grand Cathay. The home objective, though, for the Ogres is certainly looking like it's going to fall, because the mighty Mournfang Cavalry are taking a good long while to carve their way through the Jade Warriors, and that's very problematic, of course, although it is a slow capture and there are more Ogres on the warpath. Ogre Ball, Iron Fist are moving over, and that might be enough to stop the cap completely, or at least slow it down until these Jade Warriors are being dealt with. And they certainly are being dealt with. It's just taking a bit of time. If we look on the ground, dead bodies of Noblars as well as Jade Warriors. Not too many Ogre bodies, unfortunately. Then it looks like this objective has been wrestled back in firmly into the hands of the Ogre Kingdoms, with the Mournfang Cavalry and Ogre Bulls reigning supreme. In the middle, we can still see Peasant Archers are shooting shots down in to Ogre Balls, and it looks like that Slaughtermaster may finally go down. We have some more Sabertusk packs being summoned. There's no need, though, to push Objective 3. There's a Terracotta Sentinel over there, plus Crossbowmen and Halberds. You got to go all in on Objective 2 at this moment. Ticket-wise, the players are still very close. It is 2,800 to 2,700 tickets. Slaughtermaster finally beaten back, and oh my god, he runs like he's just soiled himself. What is that run? He's going for like a Jack Sparrow as he flees, unfortunately in the direction of a Terracotta Sentinel, which normally isn't too good for your health. In the center, Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen still holding. These guys were summoned in at the start of the game. They were in the first army. They've used up all their ammunition, and now they're fighting in hand-to-hand combat up to 167 kills. And even the most, range-focused of unit will do okay against Noblars in combat, as Noblars are known as being some of the scummiest and least effective fighters in the universe. But hey, they've got numbers and they're funny, and that's got to count for something. Peasant Archers just continue raining shots in on Ogre reinforcements as they do come to the main fight, and the Terracotta Sentinel sitting on Objective 3. The second Terracotta Sentinel, the one that was summoned first, is starting to push that Objective number 1, and Grand Cathay looking really, really strong here into the mid-game. Peasant Archers lining up some shots and just pour it on from far. The color scheme on these guys is so freaking cool. It looks amazing as they launch shots up and over. And now we have Jade Warrior Halberd starting to do a bit of a combined push onto Objective 1. That's given the Ogre Balls as well as the Mournfang Cavalry it's something to think about. There are Noblars are trying to hold this objective. It looks like the Cavalry are actually going to retreat from this situation. We also have some Ogre Balls, and they're all wrapping around to do a big push into the middle, hoping that they can hold their home objective just with Noblar Trappers and cheap troops. This is definitely a play that needs to happen, because the Ogres have slipped behind now in definitely damage, but also in tickets, and that certainly won't do for them. So the Slaughtermaster is leading a rejuvenated charge in. Peasant Archers are retreating as quickly as possible. Mournfang Cavalry very, very hungry, however. There's some hungry hippos indeed. Can we jump on top of the Peasant Archers and finish them off rather quickly? Looks like they may even be receiving a Toothcracker buff go down. Oh my god, that looks cool. The lamination of the shields and the teeth on it. So the Ogre Bulls are pushing their way through. Noblars are fleeing, unfortunately. The Slaughtermaster has got into the middle. Massacre's being popped as well. And it looks like the Ogres might be able to push back Grand Cathay here in the center, with more Ogre Bulls being summoned, and a big push is going on to the Grand Cathay home objective. I think this is a big mistake, though, from the Ogre player. This just is an unwinnable situation. You're not, with a couple of cheap troops, going to be able to break through the Terracotta Sentinel. You need to be sending your troops to your home objective and all your heavy hitters to the middle. I think that is the play, but it is now a triple cap for Grand Cathay. Ogres, though, fighting hard in the middle. Looks like they should be able to take it back. The scrap launcher, out of ammo, was used as a makeshift battering ram, forcing its way into the middle. Up to 130 kills, not shabby whatsoever. The Slaughtermaster has got some great durability, but likewise do the Terracotta Sentinels, who simply have not died all day long. Special Dragon Crossbowmen that continue to fight, but Noblars are pushing in onto the capture point, and it looks like it will fall into Ogre Kingdom hands. So they're so far behind right now on the balance of power, as well as these tickets up at the top. Objective 1 still has Jade Warriors, and it looks like it's going to be getting reinforced by some beat-up units and Peasant Archers over onto that flank. It could certainly be a bad day for the Ogres to claim that, and Grand Cathay barely clinging onto the middle, but I don't think it's going to matter. 4,960 tickets. It is going to be a glorious victory for Grand Cathay, barely holding on to their triple cap there in the end. Very well played to both these players. Massive shout out for Grombrindle for sending this one in. I believe this is the first Grombrindle replay I have cast of Total War Warhammer 3. Of course, he was a staple on the channel in Warhammer 2. Hopefully we'll see more stuff from him in the future. And I love this opening, just going super elite. So Celestial Dragon Guard did okay, but the Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen performed amazing. 2,551 gold value and 2,139. Not shabby. Not shabby whatsoever. I'll delve into all the damage dealt, damage gold, and kills and all that stuff in just a momento. But before we get then, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below. All three things help out massively, and we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Loads of links in the description. That is where you can submit replays to the channel like Grombrindle did via my Discord. There's a link in the description. There's also links there to Patreon, Twitch, and all that juiciness. But back to the battle. Celestial Dragon Guard, how did they perform? Well, 400, 182, 260, and 1,129 gold value. Doesn't look too good for them. They were kind of there as the sacrificial lambs to hold back the enemy, and honestly, Jade Warrior Halberds probably could have done their job for them, but the Celestial Dragon Guard were fantastic. 97 and 188 kills, 2.1k and 2.5k gold value, far outstripping their basic Jade Warrior counterpart, who got 1.4 gold value on themselves. As for the reinforcing army, we did get a Lord Magistrate who I completely missed like the entire battle. 1,400 gold value on them though, so I'm sure they rocked up and did some decent stuff at some point. Terracotta Sentinel just was a stalwart bastion of hope for Grand Cathay in the center of the battlefield all day long, getting 2,244 gold value. The other one, not getting much value, but its main job was to sit on the home objective and sure it couldn't be taken. The infantry didn't do too much, nothing too crazy. The Peasant Archers got 700, 1,129, 280, and 377 gold value on them. Props to this Ogre player, did not bring any of the really kind of broken like Gorges and Iron Blasters, which are just a bit overtuned at the moment and powerful, and bringing quite a fun build here. Slaughtermaster of the Great Moor, 1,149 value, not bad whatsoever. He was very durable in the middle of the park. Man-Eaters, 500 value, got taken out by the crossbowman. Scrap Launcher, 1.7k value, 133 kills. I've actually found, a lot of people say it's terrible, and it is pretty bad, but I've had good luck with it against Grand Cathay. Ogre Bulls and Trappers didn't do too much. So this unit of Trappers got 1,000 value, which is very impressive. They possibly were summoned in multiple times, however. For the backup army, we never saw the Hunter. The other Man-Eater Ogre Pistols got 150 kills, 1,000 gold value, not bad whatsoever. I don't think there was any other huge standouts. Mournfang Cavalry was used quite nicely, though. 152 kills, 920 gold value on them. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.